This is our first caravan in Peppimenarti. In fact, I think this photo here, it's got a veranda or a sort of side thing on, which when I first saw it, it was just this small van stuck in the middle of the mud with Phil Kenyon, who met us at the airport. And we travelled on the back of a tractor to the van.
Okay, stop there.
I can't remember exactly what was inside the van. I do remember that we had very little, and I think the sofa we're sitting on, the blue one, was a really ugly blue leather sofa that came with the van or somebody had given us, and that's all we had in there, plus the cooking, a small space for cooking, and there was one part which was a sort of bedroom where we all slept. Keris and Nardwin in the old van. Keris has got some new pyjamas on that I think Granny must have sent him in the post. Nardwin being bathed in the sink, the laundry sink, which was a tiny little spot in the old caravan, and that's where we used to bath her. And I don't know what we did with Keris. We must have had a shower or something in the van as well. I'm not too sure. I can't remember. I think the Kenyans had a dog called Ruffles, and Ruffles gave birth to 3 or 4 puppies. And Nardwin loved them. She used to play with this one. And I think we adopted one for a while, but then it just disappeared. Just Keris and Nardwin in our old van, in the first van we had, playing. You can see that she was in danger of falling off, which there you are, and that used to happen quite often, but she loved standing on her head, even when she was little. Stuart was Keris's best friend, Stuart Daly, and he was a lovely little boy. I think his mother helped the school, and Hudson, I think their surname was, and they came from Daly River.
This was our second home at Peppimenarti, an Atco caravan that was dropped off and then provided with a veranda, which you will see in the rest of the photos. Outside view of our van with the then Thompson family having an official photo taken. This is in the second van. Just look at the radio in the background with the battery. That was the only communication we had in Peppy and at the school. It was radio. We used to have a session every day. I think I can't remember our call number, but it was just radio. So if anything went wrong, you had to ring or you had to call on the radio and get the flying doctor to come out. This is the kids with some Aboriginal friends roasting turtle over an open fire. Nardwin really loved turtle. There's a picture somewhere of her with a turtle, half-eaten turtle head. Nardwin and Keris outside the Atco van, just hanging around. This picture was taken later when Tamara was with us, Tamara and Loreen, who were teaching at the school, or Loreen was teaching at the school for a year. Keris and Nardwin at the door of the Atco van. This is Keris's 6th birthday party in the new edition caravan with a bit of a veranda that ran around the outside, so giving us an extra large room. This was as you can see, Christian is just a baby there. Kids playing outside in the wet. You can see the limitations of the veranda when it rained, the veranda got flooded, and we used to have snakes crawling under the caravan. The veranda was an important part of the house or the caravan because um, with the hot weather most of the time, most of your life was spent outside or with all the windows open. So it was a bit of a nuisance when the drenching rain. This veranda should have been about twice as big as it was, because the rain would just slice in and wet everything.
This was just outside on the veranda. I think he's not playing there, and I'm pretty sure it was the wet because you could see a lot of vegetation there. And it's Keris and Nardwin together. They play together quite a lot, and he looked after her really well most of the time.
Suzette, busy with her PhD. She did most of her PhD work while we were at Peppy, in a small section of the caravan, very crowded. This is a picture of Mac. He used to visit us quite a bit until one time when he was either coming out to Peppy or heading back from Peppy, he rolled his van and was confined to a wheelchair after that. But he always had a special relationship with Peppy, and we used to see him when we went into Darwin. This is the picture of the kids playing out in the yard after the first rains. The rains were always looked forward to because the build-up of the heat used to make it such a relief when you got the first rains. This is obviously much later with Christian in Nardwin's basket, but the baby basket was made for Nardwin by Regina, who is now a very well-known artist. This picture was taken in 1979 when we were cut off from the camp. The camp to the school was about 2 kilometres with the wet, and as you can see we're plodding down to camp, probably to buy something. This is the camp we were walking down to in the last picture. This was where most people lived, and there was a little store down there, plus the meeting place, which is over there by the anthill. This is where men in the evening played cards. Cards was very big in Peppimenarti. I used to go down and play cards some evenings. Sometimes I'd win, sometimes I'd lose, but if I won I could never really walk away because I'd be taking money out of the community. So normally I'd stay till I was even, or I'd just lost a bit. This was the second vehicle we had. The first one was a Land Rover. And as you can see, this is during the wet, but this is just getting bogged coming from the school down to the camp. That's why after a while during the wet it was easier to walk rather than drive. Just another example of the muddy conditions, and this is one Land Cruiser towing, it looks like, either the Land Cruiser or a Daihatsu out of the mud. Suzette and Nardwin. In the background is the Daihatsu. It was a vehicle that was finally provided to us by the Department of Education so we could actually get around. They only gave it to us for a year and then took it away again, and we had to get our own after that. In our first year at Peppy, the airfield was quite a distance from the settlement, so you had to go out there, and if you're waiting for supplies or mail or anything, you'd have to go out and wait for the plane. Picture of me and Keris waiting for the plane. The only way to get away from things at Peppy sometimes was just to go out camping. So these couple of shots here are at the beach at Nardidi, which was about 2 or 3 hours drive over fairly rough track to get there. You always had to be on the watch out because there was always the possibility of crocodiles, or in the season there was the box jellyfish, so you could only really go there some parts of the year. If you want to. This was our favourite spot, a place called Merrim. It was about only a short distance behind the school. We used to go there swimming probably most days, and often took the school kids down there as well. This is another favourite spot we would go camping, a waterfall called Pendella. A couple of times I walked up this waterfall, I climbed up the waterfall and walked way back up into the hinterland. It was absolutely stunning. Another spot we go to is called Tom Turner's Creek. This looks like it. The water was really clean and fresh, and you could drink it because there was no pollutants at all. And one of the nice things about Tom Turner's was there was no crocodiles there.